Hey guys, it's Ace Trainer Daryx here again, and in the spirit of Halloween, we'll be doing a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Ultra Moon using only Ghost types. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon are notorious for being the hardest Pokemon games around, and also chock full of cutscenes. But anyway, the standard rules of a Nuzlocke are that fainted Pokemon must be permanently boxed, only the first Ghost type encounter on any route can be caught, and all Pokemon must be given a nickname. Additional hardcore rules are that battle mode must be played on set, no items from the bag can be used in battle, and no overleveling past the Kahuna's ace. Another rule is that we won't be using Z moves for this game. These are all the ghost type Pokemon that are available in Ultra Moon. We start our adventure by being cornered by a young goose and being saved by the 3 starter Pokemon. We are given a choice between them, and of course we choose Rowlet. Not only because it evolves into a ghost type, it is also my favorite Alolan starter. I mean, just look at it. After we got it, we name him Albert. And if you know, you know. After saving Nebby from some Spearow, they really are dicks, aren't they? And being saved by Tapu Koko, we get the Sparkling Stone, but funny enough, we'll never use it as Z moves are banned. Back in the village, we have our first battle with Hau. He starts with Pichu and uses Thunder Shock, which does little damage as Leafage brings it to half. After a tackle and a Leafage, Pichu goes down. His next Pokemon is Popplio, and after 2 Leafage, it also goes down. Afterwards, we get called to the principal's office at the trainer school, and after a very tough battle, we manage to beat her. Then while in Hau'oli City, we face the trial captain, Elima, which is famously difficult. He leads with Young Goose and we send out Albert. We set up 2 workup and Young Goose just uses Leer. Peck brings it to about half and Young Goose uses another Leer. This is concerning because we're at -3 defense now, but a Leafage knocks out Young Goose. His next Pokemon is Smeargle, and even though Smeargle's attack is garbage, our defense is pretty low, so Tackle leaves it below half, which also activates our Oranberry. Leafage crits Smeargle and another one brings it to the red, but Elima uses a potion, so we get a free turn and knock out Smeargle with another Leafage. We then go to poke a bull on the nose, but it wasn't very appreciative of it. So we push on to our first trial, where you have to face a very chunky Raticate. It starts off the battle at +2 defense, so we immediately go on the offensive with a Razor Leaf, but not before getting hit by a bite. It calls its ally Pokemon another Rattata. A bite from Raticate brings us below half and our Oranberry activates, and a pursuit from Rattata brings us to half. At this point, our only hope is to keep spamming Razor Leaf. We take a hit from Raticate and then dodge a hit from Rattata, after which we take it out with a Razor Leaf, which also leaves Raticate in yellow. After taking a bite with just 2 HP left, we take out Raticate with a crit Razor Leaf, winning us the trial. Afterwards, we use the Island Scan to get our second encounter in Hau'oli Cemetery, a Litwick that we catch and name Candle Ghost. After a battle with Hau on Route 3, Albert evolves into a Dartrix. After making it back to Iki Town, we challenge Old Man Holla to complete the Grand Trial. He uses fighting types, so only his Crabrawler with Pursuit can hit Candle Ghost, so that's who we lead with. He sends out Machop but immediately switches out to Crabrawler as we hit a Fire Spin. Pursuit leaves us below half, which activates our Citrus Berry, and we hit it with a Nightshade. Crabrawler uses Leer for some reason, and Nightshade plus Fire Spin damage knocks out Crabrawler, as we level up and learn Will-O-Wisp. His next Pokemon is Makuhita, who literally can't hit us, so it just keeps spamming Sand Attack, but we get in a Will-O-Wisp, but Hala immediately uses a full heal, so after missing multiple times, we finally hit it again with a Will-O-Wisp. The Sand Attack spamming continues as we finally get to hit a Fire Spin, so now we just stall, occasionally getting in a Nightshade until Burn and Fire Spin damage knock out Makuhita. His final Pokemon is the Machop from earlier, but due to a lowered accuracy, landing a Will-O-Wisp takes several turns, but we manage to hit it and land a Fire Spin, and Machop eventually goes down to Burn and Fire Spin damage, winning us the battle and completing the first Grand Trial. After the Grand Trial, we find a Sableye in 10 Carat Hill through an SOS battle that we catch and name Gem Ghost. Afterwards, we meet Alola and Oak and go Mantine surfing. When we make it to Paniola Town, Hau challenges us to a battle. He leads with Brionne and we send out Gem Ghost. It hits us with a disarming voice as Fury Strike does little damage. We can't take another one, so we switch to Dartrix and tank a disarming voice as we bring it into the yellow with a Razor Leaf. After taking a pound, wow, that sounds weird, We finish it with another Razor Leaf. His next Pokemon is Pikachu, and we switch to Candle Ghost and get hit with 2 Electro Ball before retaliating with a Fire Spin. We switch back to Albert and take 2 Electro Ball before finishing Pikachu with a Razor Leaf. Noibat is up next and its attack is pretty trash, so after 2 Pluck, Noibat goes down. His final Pokemon is Eevee, and we take it out with a critical hit Razor Leaf. Then we basically get bullied into a battle by the Edgelord Supreme, Gladion. His first Pokemon is Zubat, and we send out Gem Ghost to use Brick Break because it's actually Zora in disguise, and it goes down immediately. His next Pokemon is actually Zubat, and some back and forth between Shadow Sneak and Wing Attack, it goes down. His final Pokemon is Type Null, and we get hit with a Pursuit as we're switching to Albert, and get hit by a Tackle before setting up some workup, and after some back and forth between Tackle and Razor Leaf, Type Null goes down. We then have to battle the Totem Araquanid. We start off with Albert and Pluck brings it to the yellow, after which it uses Aurora Beam, which leaves us at about half as it summons its ally Pokemon Masquerain, which is the real problem here. Intimidate gets the attack drop as it uses Tailwind, and Araquanid survives a Pluck on what must be 1 HP and retaliates with an Aurora Beam, which leaves us at just 6 HP. So we have to switch to Gem Ghost, who takes another Aurora Beam before knocking out Araquanid with a priority Shadow Sneak. After a few back and forth between Bug Bite and Shadow Sneak, Masquerain goes down, winning us the Water Trial. Then in preparation for the Fire Trial, we catch a Cubone in Weather Volcano Park, which we name Club Ghost. After putting on a fire dance for us, we have to face the Totem Marowak as we send out Club Ghost against its long lost parent. We tank a Flame Wheel, which activates our Oran Berry, and hit back with a Bone Meringue, which leaves it in the yellow after a crit. Curse Body disables our move, and it calls in Salazzle as its ally Pokemon. After Salazzle uses Torment and tanking a Flame Wheel, we knock out Salazzle with a ×4 super effective Bone Club. Sadly, afterwards, Club Ghost goes down to a Flame Wheel. Though your time was short, you did well. Take a good rest, buddy. We send out Gem Ghost, and after 2 Shadow Sneak, Marowak goes down, winning us the Fire Trial. Oh look, it's Colress with the Space Rangers. I wonder what he's been up to since our run in Black 2. Our next trial is up against Totem Lurantis in the Lush Jungle. We start off with Albert and get hit with an X-Scissor as we retaliate with Pluck, which brings it to about half, after which it calls its ally Pokemon Comfey. After taking an X-Scissor and retaliating with Pluck, Comfey uses Flower Shield, which raises everyone's defense. Our health is low, so we switch to Candle Ghost to take the X-Scissor as Comfey uses Floral Healing to restore Lurantis' HP. After taking another X-Scissor, Comfey uses Sunny Day, which boosts our Fire Spin on Lurantis. We then proceed with some back and forth between Candle Ghost using Flame Burst and Lurantis using Synthesis, and Comfey using Floral Healing. After Lurantis runs out of Synthesis PP, it gets in a 1-turn Solar Blade due to White Herb and as Fire Spin misses. Comfey uses Floral Shield, and after preparing another Solar Blade, Lurantis goes down to a Flame Burst. But since Candle Ghost is getting low on HP, we switch to Gem Ghost, and after a few Shadow Sneak, Comfey goes down, winning us the Grass Trial. Then in Diglett's Cave, we team up with Hout to chase off some Team Skullgrunts. Then when we exit the cave, we get a Thunderstone from Luca. And I always liked how it's nice to see past characters in modern games like this. Anyway, we find our next encounter in Akala Outskirts via Island Scan in Honage, which we catch and name Sword Ghost. Then, the best punk goth girl, Plumira, challenges us to a battle, but we beat her without much trouble. So to prepare for Olivia's grandchild, we head back to the trainer school to solve some ghost mysteries, and in one of these you can encounter a wild Drifloon, which we catch and name Ghost Blimp. It'll make sense in a second. After some grinding, Ghost Blimp evolves into a Drift Blimp. Now with our team at the level cap, we challenge the island Kahuna, Olivia. She starts a battle with Anorith and we send out Ghost Blimp. We get hit by a Bug Bite and we use Gust to bring it just below half, then we switch to a Sword Ghost who tanks a Smackdown. After we use a Shadow Sneak and take another Smackdown, Olivia uses a Super Potion and we get off 2 Shadow Sneak before we get hit with another Smackdown. After a final Shadow Sneak, Anorith goes down. She sends out her ace Lycanroc, and after which we switch to Ghost Blimp to sack it. And after 2 bites, Ghost Blimp goes down and its Aftermath ability damages Lycanroc. We send out Ghost Gem and take a bite, after which Brick Break brings Lycanroc to the yellow. After another bite, Lycanroc goes down to a second Brick Break. Her final Pokemon is Lily, and Brick Break brings it to about half, but Giga Drain knocks out Gem Ghost. We send in Albert, and our plan is to use Synthesis to stall out its Ancient Power PP. After we PP stall, it's back and forth between Giga Drain and Razor Leaf, and eventually, Lily goes down, winning us a hard-fought Grand Trial, and losing 2 members in one battle. Rest well, Ghost Blimp and Gem Ghost. You two were fine additions to the team. We make our way to the Aether Foundation where we have to fight Nihilego. After that whole business, we make it to Ula Ula Island where 2 thugs try to drag us at the bus stop, but we beat them easily. After we take the bus safely, Professor Kukui shows us the site of the Alola League before we start our next trial, in which a very chunky round boy takes a full charge of electricity before attacking us. Its defense is boosted and we send out Sword Ghost and it goes for a spiky shield, so we use the opportunity to set up a Reflect as it calls its ally Pokemon Skarmory. We switch to Candle Ghost as it takes a Zing Zap and Skarmory sets up Stealth Rock. On the turn before we can move again, Togedemaru uses a spiky shield and for some reason, Skarmory used Steel Wing and we used Will-O-Wisp on Skarmory. For some reason, it tries to use spiky shield again, so we use the opportunity to burn it as Skarmory uses Torment. So in order to get some burn damage and gain recovery with leftovers, we stall using Protect. We try to use a Flame Burst on Togedemaru, but it had set up a spiky shield, so it has failed as Skarmory hits us with another Steel Wing. We decide to stall out the next turn using Protect, and on the next turn, after taking a Zing Zap and a Steel Wing, Flame Burst brings it into yellow, which activates its Citrus Berry. We stall with another Protect, but even after leftovers recovery, we're too low on HP, so we switch to Sword Ghost and get hit twice with a Zing Zap and a Steel Wing before we set up a Reflect. After we hit the priority Shadow Sneak, and then we get hit with a Zing Zap and Steel Wing that does little damage. But due to Torment, we have to use a different move, so we boost our defense with Iron Defense. On the next turn, we use Shadow Sneak on Togedemaru and it lives on a Sliver, and after taking an Iron Head and a Steel Wing, Togedemaru finally goes down to burn damage. But due to the Torment still being active, we just can't spam Shadow Sneak, so we alternate between it and Iron Defense until Skarmory finally goes down, winning us the battle and the trial. That was literally the longest battle of this run, and so far, I hope there won't be any more like this. Right? Anyway, after those hard fought battles, Albert evolves into a Delisui and Sword Ghost evolves into Doublade. Back on the ground in Mali Garden, Professor Kukui basically pits us against Guzma. Like, I didn't ask for this, bro. Then as we make it to the Aether House, me and Hao get jumped by 2 kids and we have to defend ourselves in battle, but we quickly defeat them. In preparation for Acerola's trial, we head back to Hano Resort to catch a Sandy Gas, which we catch and name Sandy Ghost. I know, very original. Then on Route 15, we catch a Frillish that we nickname Jelly Ghost. On the base of Mount Lanakila, we catch a female Snorunt that we name Snow Ghost. We then catch the most important member for this trial, a Phantom, which we name Tree Ghost. The reason for this is that Phantom can learn a move that will make this trial possible with minimal damage. Comment down below on what move you think it is. Anyway, we start the trial and encounter the totem Pokemon. A Mimikyu, which is bulky, has high attack and the disguise ability, which gives it a free turn without damage basically. The battle starts and we send out Tree Ghost. Since Mimikyu is faster, we just need to survive 1 hit to implement our strategy. And as you can see, our strategy is to use Destiny Bond. For those of you who don't know, Destiny Bond is a move where if your Pokemon faints, the opposing Pokemon faints as well. So we survive a critical hit Shadow Claw on 17 HP and use Destiny Bond and Mimikyu, and afterwards it calls its ally Pokemon Bayonet. I attempted to use Will-O-Wisp on Bayonet, but Mimikyu outspeeds us and knocks out Tree Ghost, but Mimikyu goes down as well, accomplishing our goal. Rest well, Tree Ghost. Your time was short, but you completed your mission well. We send out Sword Ghost and after tanking a feint attack, we avenge Tree Ghost with a critical hit Shadow Claw, winning us the trial. We get back to the Aether House where Plumira and her goons ambushed us. She sends out Golbat and we send out Sword Ghost. Wing Attack does nothing and goes down after 2 Shadow Claw. Her ace Salazzle is up next and Sword Ghost can't take any fire moves, so we switch into Jelly Ghost, now a Jellicent. It evolved off screen. After taking a Flamethrower and a Dragon Pulse, Bubble Beam leaves it in the red, and after a Dragon Pulse, a final Bubble Beam knocks out Salazzle. After scouring the island for stickers, we go to Alola and Oak, after which he gives us a Mimikyu for our efforts. Now that we have a Mimikyu, we head to the Thrifty Mega Mart where we find a Gengar via SOS through Haunter, which we catch and name Shadow Ghost. And before we make it into Po Town, Nanu tells us that if we don't make it, he'll make sure that our remains get to our mother. What the hell, dude? Anyway, before the battle, Candle Ghost evolves into a Lampent. We finally make it to the deepest part of Po Town to rescue the Pokemon and confront your boy Guzma. His team is stronger than it was last time, so it's gonna be even tougher. The battle starts and he sends out Golisopod and we lead with Candle Ghost. We use Will-O-Wisp to get the burn and half Golisopod's attack, and thanks to that, we survive a Razor Shell. We then switch to Sword Ghost and take a Razor Shell, but afterwards we use Iron Defense as Golisopod tries to use Sucker Punch and fails. After maxing our defense, we use Aerial Ace to bring it below half as Emergency Exit switches out to Pinsir. We get a priority Shadow Sneak and then get hit with a Throat Chop. After back and forth between Aerial Ace and Throat Chop, it goes down to a critical hit. Golisopod is sent back out, and after an Aerial Ace and a Shadow Sneak, along with burn damage, it goes down, winning us the battle. We make it back to the Aether house only to find out that they took Lily. So on our way to the port to get to Aether Paradise, the island Kahuna, Nanu, comes and challenges us, but if you say no, he'll just say he just wants to go home, which I found hilarious. Since he's a dark type specialist, this is going to be our toughest battle yet. So to prepare, we train up Sandy Ghost to the level cap and it evolves into Palossand. So we return and accept his challenge, and his first Pokemon is Sableye, so we send out Albert, who hasn't seen much action in a while lately. Albert uses Leaf Blade, which brings it below half, and Sableye retaliates with a Shadow Ball, which leaves us below half as well, after which another Leaf Blade takes out Sableye. His next Pokemon is Krokorok, and here's where the problem is. Nanu's team is pretty fast and strong, and our team is fairly slow. The ones that are fast can't even take 2 hits. So after several minutes of delegating, we decide to make the tough choice to sack our very first partner, Albert. Rest well, buddy. You did a great job. After Albert goes down, we send in Jelly Ghost, who swiftly avenges him with Bubble Beam. His final Pokemon is Alola and Persian, so we switch into Mimikyu and it goes for its Z move, which does nothing because of Mimikyu's disguise ability. It hits us with a Dark Pulse before we can hit back with an X-Scissor, which leaves it above half. Dark Pulse leaves us with about 25 HP and X-Scissor leaves Persian in the yellow. Ghost Cloak's HP is too low right now, so we have to make the switch into Jelly Ghost, who gets hit by a Dark Pulse, but its Curse Body ability disables Dark Pulse. We use Protect to get some leftovers recovery, and after tanking a Power Gem, Jelly Ghost knocks out Persian with a Bubble Beam, winning us the battle. We suffered some losses, but honestly it could have ended up much worse. Before we head out, we do some shopping at the flea market and buy a Dust Stone, which we immediately use to evolve Sword Ghost into Aegislash, who you might know as Steel from our last video. Then at the Aether Paradise, we get ambushed by Faba and his underlings, so me and Hao team up to take them out quickly. Before getting to Lily, we have to fight Guzma one last time, and his team is stronger than it's ever been. He starts off with Golisopod and we send out Candle Ghost. We use Will-O-Wisp to half its attack and it retaliates with a Razor Shell, which brings us in the yellow. So we switch to Jelly Ghost and tank a Razor Shell. Afterwards, we stall out Golisopod's Sucker Punch PP by using Protect and Recover, and burn damage eventually gets it below half, and Emergency Exit switches out to Vikavolt. So we make the switch into Sandy Ghost as Thunderbolt does no damage, but we take a devastating Energy Ball, and although we hit it back with a Shadow Ball, we can't take another hit, so we switch into Shadow Ghost to take the Energy Ball, but after which Shadow Ball brings Vikavolt into the red. But Thunderbolt brings us to just 7 HP, after which another Shadow Ball does the job. Pinsir is up next, so we switch into Sword Ghost. Throat Chop does heavy damage and we have to tank another one before we get off a Toxic. Afterwards we use Protect to get some leftovers recovery and toxic damage. Then we switch into Ghost Cloak and get hit with a Throat Chop, but we don't get the turn because of Pinsir's Mold Breaker ability. We use Protect to get some toxic damage, and after tanking a Stone Edge on just 22 HP, Player Off leaves Pinsir in the red and toxic damage finishes off Pinsir. Masquerain is up next and our team is looking pretty banged up, so we have to send out Jelly Ghost to take the Air Slash, and Jelly Ghost's Curse Body ability disables Air Slash. Bug Buzz does little damage, but sadly, so does the Hex that we retaliate with. Afterwards, we go for Protect to get some leftovers recovery, and after another Bug Buzz, Hex leave Masquerain in the yellow. Curse body wears off, so we go for protect to shield us from the air slash. Before we can even get in a move off, air slash flinches us and we're just at 38 HP, so we protect to try and get some HP back. We can't take another air slash and our team is desperately low, but Sword Ghost is the only one who is defensive enough to take the hit, so we switch into it and air slash leaves it with just 11 HP, but we survive the hit. We go for protect to get some recovery, but we're still too low on HP, so we take a gamble and use protect again, and we're successful and got some recovery, which saves Sword Ghost because afterwards air slash leaves us with just 1 HP. My god. Remember when I said Nanu was the toughest battle yet? Screw that, this is. Anyway, we use Toxic on Masquerain, and honestly, I think Shadow Sneak would have probably been the better play, and afterwards we go for Protect again and try to recover as well as to stall. I think I must have been panicking here because I went for Protect again and luckily it was successful, and even when Shadow Sneak could have done the job, Toxic Damage took it out. Afterwards, Golisabard is sent back out. Jelly Ghost is the only one with some HP left, so we switch into it and take a Razor Shell, after which we go for Protect to get some recovery. We outspeed and use Recover to get some decent HP back, and Razor Shell does little damage, but we get our defense dropped. We fully restore our HP with Recover and take a Razor Shell, then we use Protect to stall out the burn damage. It's lame, I know, but given the state of our team, I'm not taking any chances. So we just alternate between Recover and Protect until Golisopod eventually goes down, winning us the battle. Our team was in tatters afterwards, and the fight with Lusamine is right up next. We make it to her where we see that she has Pokemon preserved in ice because she doesn't want to lose them, and that's just creepy. Not to mention getting to see the dysfunctional family reunion. Afterwards, Lusamine picks us to battle to prove her strength. Her first Pokemon is Clefable, and we send out Candle Ghost to start things off with a Will-O-Wisp, and Charm drops our attack, which is basically a free turn. Even with the double power from the status condition, Hex only does about a quarter damage. Moonblast leaves us with about 2/3 HP, plus we get the special attack drop, which is not good. This time Hex leaves it just below half and Moonblast leaves us below half as well. At this point, we can't risk the loss, so we switch to Jelly Ghost and take a payback and Psychic before we retaliate with Hex, which brings it into the red. Lusamine switches into Lopunny as we use Recover to restore HP. We switch into Sword Ghost and take an Ice Punch as we retaliate with Toxic. So in order to stall and raise our defenses, we just go ahead and max it out with 3 Iron Defense. But we get paralyzed due to Thunder Punch. We go for a Protect, but we get paralyzed, but on the next turn, we get a Protect and Lopunny goes down to Toxic damage. Out comes Milotic and hits us with a critical hit Hydro Pump, which leaves us with just 27 HP, but we manage to hit our Toxic. Our health is low, so we switch into Jelly Ghost to take the Dragon Pulse and Hydro Pump before we hit it with a Hex, which brings it below half, after which we use a Protect to shield us from the Hydro Pump and get some leftovers recovery, after which Toxic damage leaves it with a Sliver. Knowing that I'm going to take the hit, we go for Recover to restore damage from Hydro Pump, and Toxic damage knocks out Milotic. Lilligant is up next, so we swap into Ghost Cloak as Tita Dance confuses us. However, on the next turn it uses Petal Dance and breaks our disguise, so retaliate with X-Scissor to bring it below half. It uses Petal Dance, which brings us to 22 HP, and we hit ourselves in confusion, which leaves us at just 5 HP. We don't want to lose anyone, so we switch into Shadow Ghost, who tanks a Petal Dance and disables it due to its Curse Body ability, and even though it's disabled, the AI still goes for it, which I found weird, but we knocked it out with a Shadow Ball. Clefable is sent back out and we use Protect for some reason, and afterwards we switch to Jelly Ghost, who takes 2 Moonblasts before knocking it out with a Bubble Beam. Her last Pokemon is Beware, who uses Zen Headbutt, but it misses, and we use Bubble Beam, which doesn't do much. But Beware uses Dual Chop for big damage, and Bubble Beam doesn't even bring it to half. We use Protect to shield us from another Dual Chop and get some leftovers recovery, which was our saving grace. Before we could use Leftover, it brings us to just 6 HP, but thankfully it's disabled due to Curse Body. After we recover, we're hit with a heavy Zen Headbutt, which also flinches us, so we have to do this over again by using Protect to gain some recovery. But we're too low, so we switch into the only healthy team member left, Sandy Ghost, who tanks 2 Zen Headbutt before getting some recovery with Giga Drain. After taking a Dual Chop, which leaves us at just 33 HP, Earth Power knocks out Beware, finally beating Lusamine. Honestly, 2 back-to-back battles and our team is in tatters after each one. After she drifts off into the Ultra Wormhole and Guzma jumps in after her, disappointed in you by the way, we finally can leave this place and head for Pony Island. Speaking of, I like Mina as a character. She just seems so chill. One look at her and you know she's the type to use recreational substances for inspiration for her artwork. Before we proceed to the ruins, we catch a Delmise which we catch and name Ghost Anchor. In the Pony Plains, we find a dust stone which I had no idea was there. It was pure coincidence, so we quickly use it to evolve Candy Ghost into a Chandelure. We get to the ruins where there's this cool scene of Hapu praying to the Guardian statue, and after the ceremony, we make our way to Executor Island to get the Moon Flute, and afterwards we make our way to the first trial site in Vast Pony Canyon where we face Totem Kamo. We send out Sword Ghost to kick things off, and after getting hit with a Thunder Punch, we use Toxic but it misses. It calls its ally Pokemon, Noivern, and after taking a Thunder Punch and a Screech, we hit a Toxic on Kamo. After which we use Protect to get some leftovers recovery. After a critical hit Thunder Punch and a Screech, we get Toxic off on the Noivern as well. As you guys can guess, and I'm sorry for spamming this strategy, but we're gonna use Protect to stall as well as to get some leftovers recovery. Sword Ghost has done its job now, so we switch into Ghost Cloak, who immediately takes a Thunder Punch and breaks our disguise. Kamo uses Poison Jab, which does about a third damage and poisons us, but Play Rough misses on the Noivern, and Kamo goes down to poison damage. So now it's just Noivern left. Air Slash leaves us at about 36 HP, after which a Play Rough knocks out Noivern, winning us the trial. Then at the Altar of the Moon, we have to play the ritual song to summon Lunala. Hit it! Anyways, the beat was so fire it prompted Nebby to evolve into Lunala itself. Right after, Lusamine and Guzma get dumped out of the Ultra Wormhole, followed by Necrozma, who after an epic anime fight takes control of Nobe and summons a bunch of portals, and Ultra Bees start coming out everywhere. And look how Tapu Koko just pops up instantly, ready for all the smoke. Now we have to fight Dawnwink's Necrozma, which was a breeze since Ghost Cloak outspeeds and knock it with 2 times worse super effective Shadow Claw without us even sustaining a hit. We then have to give chase using Solgaleo as our ride Pokemon to Ultra Megapolis, where we have to face Ultra Necrozma using Toxic Stall. I'm sorry guys, I really had to play it safe this time and I couldn't afford to lose any more teammates, so a combination of Ghost Cloak and Sword Ghost with Toxic Stall knocks out Ultra Necrozma, freeing Nebby and saving the world. Afterwards, we start Mina's trial by collecting all of the petals from all the trial captains, like Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones. Once we get back to Mina, she makes a rainbow flower which attracts the totem Pokemon Ribombee, which shouldn't be too hard. I hope. The battle starts and we lead with Jelly Ghost, and Ribombee sets up a Quiver Dance, which is problematic as it's one of the best setup moves in all of Pokemon. Afterwards, we go for the Toxic. I know, but it's for a reason. Ribombee then calls in its ally Pokemon, Pelipper, who summons the rain with its Drizzle ability. Ribombee uses Dazzling Gleam, which brings us below half, and Pelipper sets up Stockpile, which raises both of its defense, after which we use Hex to get double damage on Ribombee, which does laughable damage. Well, there goes the plan. Anyway, we can't take another Dazzling Gleam, so we use Protect to get some leftovers and shield us from Dazzling Gleam, as Pelipper uses Stockpile again. Ribombee uses Dazzling Gleam, which leaves us with just 16 HP, but the move gets disabled due to Jelly Ghost's Cursed Body ability. As Pelipper stockpiles for the 3rd time, we go for Recover to restore our HP, but even though our HP is above half, we're still in range for a high roll or a crit, so we use Protect to get some more recovery using leftovers, and to shield us from Ribombee's Draining Kiss and Pelipper's Seed Bomb. As Ribombee goes down to toxic damage, it's just Pelipper left to deal with. Since Pelipper outspeeds us, it hits a Seed Bomb first before we poison it with Toxic. We stall for a bit with Protect to get some leftovers recovery, and then use Recover after Seed Bomb gets us in the yellow. Now at full HP, we use Hex, but not before Pelipper uses Seed Bomb, and the double damage from Hex leaves it in the red, after which poison damage knocks out Pelipper, winning us the trial. Next up is our final grand trial against the brand new Kahuna, Hapu. But since some of our team ended up over leveling, they had to be benched this time. She starts the battle with Golurk and we lead with Snow Ghost. Our strategy this time is to set up Hail, which raises Snow Ghost's evasiveness due to its Snow Cloak ability, as well as making Blizzard a 100% accurate move. After Golurk sets up Stealth Rock, It's a semi-sweep as both Golurk and Ramutsdale goes down to an expert belt boosted super effective Blizzard. Our sweep is ended short when she sends in Gastrodon instead of Flygon. I guess his PhD really does help him play around the critical hit. Anyway, since Gastrodon won't go down in one hit and Snow Ghost is pretty frail, we switch to Jelly Ghost who takes the muddy water, and as you guessed it, we're gonna Toxic Hex this thing. It uses Mud Bomb which gets disabled, but we're below half so we use Protect to get some recovery. But it ended up being a waste as Hapu used a full heal on Gastrodon. So we have to poison it again, and after taking a muddy water and dropping our accuracy. And after both sides stall for a bit, Jelly Ghost uses Hex which brings Gastrodon into the yellow, and after poison damage brings it into the red, Hapu uses a Hyper Potion. Then the battle just devolves into a stalling match because as soon as it gets in the range to be knocked out, it uses Recover, and coupled with poison damage, this goes on for a while until its regeneration couldn't keep up with the toxic damage and it goes down. Her final Pokemon is Flygon, and since it's a fast and heavy hitter, we have to stick with our tank Jelly Ghost and use Toxic and just alternate between Protect and Recover as Flygon keeps using Earth Power until it eventually goes down, defeating Hapu, beating the Grand Trial, and now we're ready for the Pokemon League. But before we reach Victory Road, we're challenged one last time by Edgelord Supreme, Gladion. But it's not much of a match as his Crobat goes down to Snow Ghost, Ghost Cloak knocks out his Zoroark after taking its Z move, his Lucario goes down to Sandy Ghost, but his ace Pokemon Sivali puts up more of a fight, but ultimately goes down to the efforts of Sandy Ghost and Jelly Ghost. So with that out of the way, it's time to face the Elite Four. Oh, so that's where it landed. But finally, we make our way to the summit to challenge the Elite Four. And the first person we challenge is Mullane, the Steel type user. His first Pokemon is Klefki, and we start off with Candle Ghost. Klefki has the Prankster ability, so its Thunder Wave goes first, cutting our speed in half, but it's quickly melted by a Flamethrower. His next Pokemon is Dugtrio, which can KO Candle Ghost. So we switch into Sandy Ghost who tanks an Earthquake, and on the next turn, Dugtrio misses a Fissure and it goes down to an Earth Ball. Bisharp is up next and it outspeeds and leaves us with just 14 HP after a Night Slash, but we knock it out with another Earth Power. Metagross is sent out, but our HP is too low and we're also very slow, so we switch into Sword Ghost who sets up a King Shield, but Metagross's Clear Body ability means that we can't lower any of its stats. So we do the next best thing and alternate between Shadow Sneak and King Shield until Metagross is knocked out. It's not a good strategy, but it works. His final Pokemon is Magnezone, so we use King Shield to protect us from a Thunderbolt. Afterwards we use Sacred Sword to bring it into the yellow, and for some reason Magnezone uses Screech. But we capitalize on that opportunity and punish it with another Sacred Sword, defeating Mullane and winning the first Elite Four battle. Up next is the former Miss Alola, Olivia, now upset that her title has been taken from Antler Boy Live, starts the battle with Armaldo and we lead with Sword Ghost, but it's faster and lands an X-Scissor before being KO'd by an Iron Head. Her next Pokemon is Probopass, so we use Shadow Sneak to break Probopass's sturdy ability, but it misses a Thunder Wave and we easily take it out with a Time Sword super effective Sacred Sword. Next up is Lycanroc, which is faster than us, so we go for a King Shield to protect us from Lycanroc's Crunch and get the attack drop. So its second Crunch does little damage as we KO it with a super effective Iron Head. Gigalith is sent out, so we protect ourselves from Bulldoze using King Shield, after which we take it down to the yellow with an Iron Head. Bulldoze does heavy damage due to us being in Blade form and it drops our speed, but we take it out with another Iron Head. Her final Pokemon is Cradily, so we take precaution and use King Shield, but Cradily uses Stealth Rock and afterwards it uses Energy Ball which does little damage. As Iron Head brings Cradily into the red, Olivia uses a full restore. But afterwards, a Shadow Sneak brings it into the KO range, then we take an Energy Ball which leaves us at just 20 HP before we knock it out with an Iron Head, defeating Olivia and winning the battle. Up next is arguably the biggest challenge so far, Acerola, the Ghost Princess. Time to see who's more in touch with the spirits. She starts the battle with Bayonet and we lead with Snow Ghost, which quickly takes it out with a Shadow Ball, and Acerola's next Pokemon is Delmise, and we take the risk and use Blizzard, and it hits and even better, leaves Delmise frozen. Knowing that Acerola is going to use a full restore, we set up Hail to raise our evasiveness and make Blizzard 100% accurate, and afterwards we KO it with a super effective Blizzard. Her Frostlass is up next, and we test things out by using Protect to shield us from the Shadow Ball, and after avoiding a Confuse Ray, we knock out her Frostlass with our own Shadow Ball. Palossand is sent out, but is quickly sent back by a super effective Blizzard, and our final Pokemon, Drifblim, is sent out, but it goes down to 2 Shadow Ball, winning us the match. Snow Ghost really pulled their weight in this battle. Anyway, the final Elite Four member is the Sky High Elite Golfer, Kahili. Her first Pokemon is Braviary, and we lead with Snow Ghost, but it outspeeds and hits us heavy with a Brave Bird, which leaves us with just 16 HP before we retaliate and knock it out with a Blizzard. Her next Pokemon is Hawlucha, so we switch to Throat Ghost, who takes us Throat Chop, but we use King Shield, which protects us from the Throat Chop and get the attack drop, as Shadow Sneak does about a third damage. But since we're in Blade form, our defenses are super low, so Throat Chop does heavy damage and leaves us at 60 HP, so we switch to Shield form and use King Shield, which protects us from the Throat Chop. Since it's the only move it can use against us and get the attack drop, we get hit once more before knocking out the Hawlucha with an Iron Head. Mandibles is sent out, and it's super bulky, so we use King Shield to protect us from the Brave Bird and get the attack drop. And now that Sword Ghost has done its job, we switch to Ghost Cloak, who is super effective against Mandibles, and we get a free turn due to our disguise ability. Play Rough misses, and Mandibles uses another Brave Bird, which does a quarter damage, after which Play Rough does about half damage. Then Mandibles uses Flatter, which raises our special attack but confuses us, so we switch to Jelly Ghost, and after taking a Brave Bird, Mandibles uses Flatter, which causes us to hit ourselves in confusion. On the next turn, after taking a Brave Bird, we knock out Mandibles with a Water Spout. Her ace Pokemon, Toucanon, is sent out next, as Water Spout leaves it at about a quarter. Then we get hit hard with a Beak Blast, which leaves us at just 33 HP, but on the next turn we knock it out with a Scald. Her final Pokemon is Oricorio, and we switch to Sandy Ghost, as it uses Teeter Dance, which confuses us, so we switch into Candy Ghost and get confused by another Teeter Dance, which was a weird choice by the AI, honestly. We switch to Ghost Cloak and get confused again, and at this point I'm annoyed, so I decided to stick things out and use Shadow Claw, but Oricorio outspeed and uses Air Slash, which flinches us. And then to make things worse, our attack is halved due to Feather Dance, so we have to switch again into Sandy Ghost as it takes an Air Slash. Then on the next turn, we get confused by Teeter Dance and hit ourselves in confusion. Then Air Slash leaves us at just 32 HP, but we break through the confusion and use Shadow Ball, which brings Oricorio into the yellow, but our HP is super low, so we make the switch into Sword Ghost, who takes an Air Slash on the first turn and uses King Shield on the second to get some leftovers recovery and protect us from Revelation Dance. Since Oricorio will always outspeed, we go for the priority Shadow Sneak, which gets the job done and knocks out Oricorio, winning us the match and our final Elite Four battle. And honestly, that was the most annoying battle that I've had this run. With that out of the way, there's only one more battle left before we complete this run. As we climb to the final podium and take our seat, for a moment I thought it was Kukui that we were going to battle, but it's a fake out, as Hao is the one who's going to challenge us for the title of the first ever champion of Alola. With no words needed, we get our final battle underway. Hao starts the battle with Raichu, and we lead with Snow Ghost. Raichu uses Thunderbolt, which leaves us with just 4 HP, and we retaliate with Shadow Ball, which leaves it on a sliver. So we switch into Sandy Ghost, as Hao uses a full restore. Since it's faster, Psychic does about half damage, as Earth Power leaves it with a sliver, but this time Hao switches to Noivern, as we use the opportunity to restore HP with Shore Up. But Dark Pulse from Noivern flinches us and leaves us in the yellow. We can't take another hit, so we switch into Ghost Cloak, as Noivern uses Dragon Pulse, but we're immune due to our Fairy typing. After dodging an Air Slash, Play Rough leaves it with about a quarter, as Air Slash breaks our disguise, and another Play Rough knocks out Noivern. Taurus is sent out next, and Iron Head leaves us with about a quarter, and Wood Hammer does little damage. Our HP is low, so we switch into Sword Ghost and take the Zen Headbutt, as we use King Shield to protect us from an Earthquake. On the next turn, Earthquake does less than half, as we retaliate with a Sacred Sword, which knocks out Taurus. Flareon is his next Pokemon, as we go for King Shield to protect us from a Flare Blitz and get the attack drop. We still can't take any hits from Fire type moves, so we switch into Jelly Ghost, and Flareon drops our attack and uses Flare Blitz, which does little damage, after which our Water Spout takes out Flareon. Raichu is sent back out, so we switch into Sandy Ghost, as Hao uses a full restore, and Raichu outspeeds and take out Sandy Ghost. Rest well, buddy. You deserve it. Candle Ghost is sent out, and after taking a Thunderbolt, which leaves us at about a third, Hex knocks out Raichu. Crabominable Nebel is sent out next, but Flamethrower quickly takes care of it as it stood no chance. Howl's final Pokemon is his starter, Primarina, so Candle Ghost uses Energy Ball, which brings it below half, but its Z move, Hydro Vortex, takes out Candle Ghost. You did a good job, Candle Ghost. Take a good rest. Sword Ghost is sent out, and we start off with King Shield, which protects us from the Sparkling Aria and gets some recovery as an Iron Head knocks out Primarina, defeating Howl, becoming the first champion of the Alola region and completing this hardcore Nuzlocke with only Ghost-type Pokemon. If you guys made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. This video has been insanely long to produce, and I'm still trying to find a balance, so I would really appreciate it if you guys would like this video. And what I plan to do next is start from Gen 3 all over again, and I have 2 videos in my next, so comment down below on which one you would like to see first. This has been Ace Trainer Daryx, and always remember to battle like an Ace Trainer.